the Defense Department is not going to become a political football. Not in my administration. Secondly, a lot of these congressional photo ops going to these war areas and coming back as experts, they're going to be limited in terms of that because they get in the way of our men and women over there trying to do their job. Now, here's the other thing. Here's my other approach to this. We are in 3 wars. Here's a commitment that I'm going to make to you because I've made it to everybody. Number 1, it will be real clear what our mission is before we send our men and women into war. Real clear. Secondly, it will be real clear what victory looks like because our men and women like to fight to win. But we got to know what victory looks like. Thirdly, it must be real clear how it serves the interests of the United States of America as well as the interests of that particular country. And here's my 4th commitment to you. I have a son and a daughter and 3 grandkids. As president, I will never send somebody else's son or daughter or grandchild into war if I would not be willing to send my own. That's my commitment to you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Cain, the United States of America has been the leader in space exploration since we landed on the moon in 1965. What will you, as president, do to make sure that the United States remains a potential spirit in the space exploration?
First of all, I would reauthorize the shuttle program. I don't think it should have been ended. You know, it broke my heart because I was around when John F. Kennedy said by the end of the decade of the 60s we're going to walk on the moon, and we did. He set the vision, and it inspired this nation to make it happen. This president has now turned that vision into a nightmare because in order to get up to the space station, we got to thumb a ride with the Russians. America is used to being a leader in space exploration, not a thumber. And so we're going to become the leader again in space exploration by rearranging our priorities in order to be able to do that.
Mr. Cain, you mentioned NASA and the military, areas of America where we're the best. The next one, of course, is medicine. Tell us about Obamacare and tell us about your vision of healthcare reform.
Yes. The question is, what's my vision for healthcare reform? First, some of you may remember that in the early 1990s, I became a vocal critic of Hillary Care and helped to wake up the business community in order to speak out, speak against that program, because it was going to be another disastrous government program. When President Obama started to try to pass Obamacare, I called it healthcare reform. The first thing I recognized was that Obamacare is even worse than Hillary Care, which is why, number 1, I believe it should be totally repealed. In America, we have the best health care in the world. I'm a living proof of that, folks. For those who may not, I'll come back to that story later. We have the best health care in the world. We have a cost problem. Here's how we get control of the cost as well as control of the health insurance. Pass patient-centered, market-driven reform, such as deductibility under the current tax system. Should not matter who buys it, the employer or the employee. That will allow companies to provide more options to their employees such that they will be able to buy the package that best suits them. A la the Steve Forbes model. Back in the early 1990s, Steve Forbes of Forbes magazine, he did an experiment. He told every employee, I'm going to put $1,500 into an account for your health insurance. Then you buy the health insurance package that you want. If you don't use all of that money, it stays in your account and you can roll it over and you can build an emergency medical fund. And every year I'm going to put that same amount of money in there. While everybody else's health insurance costs were going up, the costs at Forbes magazine were going down. Why? People spend their money better than they spend other people's money. That's the principle that we must get into healthcare. Secondly, expand medical savings accounts rather than restrict medical savings accounts. It is a good tool under the current system. Remember, under the current system, this is what these apply to. Thirdly, allow association health plans. When I ran the National Restaurant Association, the National Restaurant Association even today is the second largest employer in the nation next to government, if you add federal government jobs to state government jobs. Second only to government, the National Restaurant Association. When I was the president and CEO of the National Restaurant Association, I wanted to design a health insurance plan that was customized for restaurateurs and food service businesses, because it's very different from a bank, very different from a mortgage company, but we couldn't do it because the laws wouldn't allow it. We would have been able to cover more people in the restaurant industry with a customized plan like that if we had been able to work it such that all of the members of the Restaurant Association could participate than we were able to do by doing it state by state by state. So that's one of the things. Now here's one of the biggest reforms that we need. I call it loser pay laws. You hear the term tort reform. Loser pay is part of that, so don't get confused with it. And because doctors have told me that too many of them are practicing defensive medicine, and 25% of your health insurance is because the doctors have to charge more to do tests to make sure that they don't get subjected to frivolous lawsuits. If you pass loser pay laws, frivolous lawsuits will go down dramatically. Then we begin to get control of it. The other thing that I believe in is something similar to what Representative Paul Ryan has done with Medicare. Instead of a bureaucrat deciding your doctor and your hospital, why not give seniors that choice to decide for themselves? Let them spend it as